Robert.
Hello.
What
I
the
think
hell?
you're using your shitty mic.
Virtual
Robert.
Boy game? Come on, dude.
Dude, he's been buying virtual. Have you not been paying attention?
No.
Yeah.
He's been buying this shit, bro.
Oh,
First time
Hey.
seeing it.
why do I hear an echo?
I think it's T because I had an echo
Oh, yeah,
earlier.
it's probably
which
me.
is
Hold on. Sorry. it's
Yeah,
me.
man. How can you not get Virtual Boy, yo?
trash.
Don't act like that's something you should buy. All right, don't do that.
Oh, don't act like that's
I played it at Toys R Us. It was trash.
Come on, yo, it's Virtual Boy.
I thought
Virtual
it
Boy
was.
is trash. I mean, I only want one because of the novelty of it. Like
Exactly.
Like I don't even want a working one. I wouldn't take a shit broken one. I just want. But I don't want to play that shit.
I've heard that the Wario Land game is actually really good.
No, there are good games on it, but I'm not gonna sit perch my fucking neck
Yeah.
over a table.
You got to get a modded one or something that you can.
Like you strap it to your head or some shit.
Yeah.
Even then, it's not worth it. It's like having a 3DS strapped to your face.
Yeah.
It's not like it's
worse.
You're able to look around and you're in the virtual world.
Yeah, because your head doesn't move with your head.
I get you, but come on, man, it's cool. I still like the case.
Nah, that's an ugly ass case.
What?
That is an ugly case.
Awesome.
That looks like somebody just threw that together as like before E3 somebody threw together some box art.
That's legitimately the case.
That's the original.
It looks a little better up
No, it's
close,
not the
but
original
that I don't
That's a repro.
I don't like
That's
that.
well, it's the repro, but like
it's a
that's
repro?
the cover. That's an
ugly cover.
It looks like a DS game.
Anyway.
Well, yeah, that's what I love
it's a
about
repro
it.
case.
Come on, man, that's what's so cool about it. You got the Virtual Boy on the
The
side.
case is repro, but the artwork is original.
I have no issue with the case. Is all I'm saying.
How are you gonna say this is a trash case? It's red. It's lit. Come on.
I don't like. I don't like the logo. I don't like the letter text, whatever you want to call it. The font.
But that's legit. But that's what it is.
Artwork.
I know what I'm saying. It looks like somebody threw that together, saying this game's coming out next year. Here's the box art. And somebody just made it up.
I wouldn't go
like for any game.
But you gotta tell someone at Nintendo, whoever that was. I don't know.
My uncle over there made that artwork. Fuck.
They were making bad decisions at that time, so it's not.
But what's up to everybody in the chat? We got Lenny, we got Donnie, we got Royal Hustler, we got and Be Wild. So what's up, guys? Last week I had just too much going on, so I was gonna start it, have you guys do it, but Retro wasn't gonna be there. I think somebody else wasn't gonna make it, so I was like, you know what? Let's just do it next week. So Robert started and beat a game since the last podcast.
Two actually.
I can objectively say you rushed through one of the game that I know.
No. I did not
objectively rush through.
I did not. This is why.
Apparently, damn.
The thing is, we all play differently, right? You know,
Retro
plays.
Some people play badly though. Remember that. Some people play badly.
Retro plays very long, right? Retro plays every minor thing, and he doesn't. That's the thing. He doesn't technically play every minor thing, but he will look at every minor thing and he'll stare at every minor thing for ages, right? So it adds up the hours. But when Juice loves a game, or at least really likes a game, he will essentially not always 100% it, but you will dive real deep into the side content, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you'll definitely dive real deep into the side content, and then factually, I have played the average time of what Immortals is to beat anyway. so at the end of the day,
when I'm talking,
majority of players have played what I have played.
But I'm not talking. The stuff I did was well beyond.
I know.
Like I was going for the 100% armor. Now just getting your health up and your make sure your stamina's maxed. You know, that's to me that's normal playthrough stuff.
Well, so we were talking about this, and I'm curious as to how you guys think, because I feel like Ubisoft, the developers at that, at least thought that the difficulty wise was probably going to lean. I don't know how many health bars you had. I'm curious as to if you remember, but like I feel like they probably were leaning towards mine and less than yours, because I
played on hard and I didn't die. The boss was easy.
You definitely had a lot more health bars. You said your thing was maxed or some shit. That's like.
But I only had like 50 hours in the game at that point when I beat it.
Only, but still, that's it. Like the average playtime, no joke. I was curious, and the average playtime to beat the game was like 25 hours.
Oh yeah,
so
that's rushed.
That's not
That's
Russian,
Rush,
bro.
dude.
Bro, that's
Damn.
legit. Bro, that's not. It cannot be. It
Juice has
legitimately is
spoken.
not Russian. If you literally, if you consume the whole main story and everything, that's the content. That's the main story. It's 24 hours. That's like it's actually 24 hours. But
Just
in the
messing
end of the
with you.
day, no. But I'm just saying. I'm just saying that
That's a 40-hour game. Like,
well, yeah. If you play more than like I'm really curious as to how much health you had because that shit was a pain in the ass, bro. That shit.
you can't just climb up, grab ambrosia. Like it was everywhere.
You know, I didn't see as many, man.
Dude, if you get to any high point, there's usually 10
I
to
noticed
15
that. I noticed. Yeah,
every
yeah,
time
that I
you got
noticed.
to a high point, and you just mark them with your. Oh, I'm heading that way. Well, let me mark these 3 ambrosia. I'll pick them up on the way. Like,
Yeah, no, I definitely noticed that. Don't get me wrong, I definitely noticed that. But I'm not finished the game because I do want to on my next day off I want to play some of the side content. Like and that's another thing I feel at least especially because you said it was too easy on hard mode and stuff. Maybe you should have beat the game earlier, yo.
Jesus
no.
Christ.
Maybe you should have think
I
about it.
want to be able
just-
to beat the boss on the first try. To me, like that's
Oh,
all
okay.
my upgrading, all my
Oh, okay.
getting good at the game. I shouldn't have to. It shouldn't take 10 tries to beat the boss. That's how I've always felt.
Really? I guess it's interesting because to me it's more like that's the final boss. It's probably gonna be a bit tough. Maybe it won't be, but it
I'd
depends
rather
on-
have a earlier boss tougher than the
Okay.
final boss because it's like I want to beat his ass. Like that's
Okay.
especially if it's
Yeah,
a
that's
story
all
game
right.
like
I
that.
get that. Well, it
Like in
took
Zelda
me.
games.
I'll say it took me a good.
It was a
It wasn't
long
like
fight
a million
though.
times. It was. It is a long fight. It's
It's like an hour and a half, I think, total
it
from
was too
entering
long.
the
Oh yeah,
vault.
entering and doing the vault and all that, and then you go to him and stuff. But and then of course they're like, "Hey dudes, you guys like fighting the final boss? Yeah. How about 20 enemies? No, no, no.
See, I didn't
No, I
even
don't.
have. I didn't even. I was. I don't know. I didn't remember
was
that
a
even
joy.
being a problem. Because I mean,
Nah.
I had my godly power maxed up. I had a nice
Well,
combo.
I had one of those maxed, which was the hammer, the mega hammer.
I did the upward.
Oh, okay.
You get the spikes, and that almost completely stuns almost every enemy in one hit. It's fully charged.
Really?
So.
Okay. I
But
really
anyway,
like the hammer
in case
though.
somebody doesn't know, we're talking about Immortals, Phoenix
Oh
Rising.
yeah. I don't know.
Um,
Yeah, did we even mention the game? and
But
shit?
so what did you think of the 4 gods? I know you mentioned you liked Ares.
I did like him.
Was he your favorite at the end?
By the end, I would say, would I say him? I will say I'm not gonna sit here and lie and like say like, oh man, I love them all. I wasn't like I didn't fall in love with all of them, but I did like. I feel like their previous forms are better than their human forms, than their godly forms. Like I really like was it Hephaestus, right? How do you say
He had
his
a
name?
sad story, man.
He had a sad story, and that's why I really liked it. That's why I thought it was the most personal they got with the character, and I really enjoyed him with the whole robotic thing. I was like, I won't get deeper into that, but that was very cool.
No
And,
spoilers, BS.
yeah, that's it. No spoilers, but like it's
I
genuinely.
did like their when they were in the main
like
tower.
the whole thing,
Forget
yeah,
what
main
it's called.
tower.
They
No, the
play a
whole
bigger
gods,
role in the first DLC, A New God.
Oh, do they?
And there's some good dialogue and stuff with that.
Yeah, no, I mean, I did like that, and like I said, I am gonna go back and play some of the side content now that because another thing is, they also save right before you enter, so
Yeah.
you can enter back and just continue playing.
I think there was a couple free side missions, and one gives you a cool mount. It's like a Pegasus thing.
Man, I always ran everywhere though. I'm not even gonna lie. Well, that's a completely true. I would just to have, I guess, because
you could
I
call
just-
your horse instantly, and no matter
exactly
from anywhere
that's
you were.
what I did was I would run. I ran out of stamina. I jump on the horse, run, and then he ran out of stamina. I jumped off, ran, and then I pressed on like that. I kept switching back and forth. So I'd be running.
Anyway,
Game and shit.
what are some of the other aspects about the game? Anything stand out to you?
Well, I really like the vaults. It's kind of one of my things, and I also really like the objectives of the missions. I feel like they're not quite.
We've turned this into the Immortal Rising cult.
No,
like it's all hell,
a good game, though.
All hell the Immortals, everyone.
I will say for me, like I was worried because when it first started, the first few hours I felt a little slow for me. I was like, oh man, I'm not really completely feeling this, and I was like, oh no.
Well, the tutorial's a bit.
Up next.
Nice, hells yeah, yo. Then we're gonna have a whole podcast dedicated around that. But no, I think the maybe that's what it was. The tutorial's a little bit long maybe I don't know, but it just I was like, I don't know if I'm feeling this. I wasn't sure how I feel about the dialogue. I'm a little mixed on it. It's not like I loved it, but I enjoyed certain characters and certain aspects of certain characters, but definitely like the vaults. I think the vaults are cool. And you said there are a lot of side vaults, so I should check some of them out.
Yeah, there's over 100 vaults, and there's some really just
random,
like
the actual
shrines.
The shrines, the 120 shrines.
There's some just really good puzzles. Like, why is this optional? This is as good as anything in the main game. Why is this vault optional? Like, it's so like.
And they all give you what, coins of Charon or something?
Well, the vaults give you the Zeus lightning bolts.
Oh, that's right. And that would technically.
And then they all have at least one chest of armor in it.
Okay, all right.
So
and the game is beautiful. I know we always said like that game, awesome art style. You know, that's something that's never gonna age a day. You know, like legitimately, you're gonna go back 20 years and it's just gonna look good. You know, it's one of those type art styles.
Yeah, I'd say it's one of the best overall looking games in the last few years for sure.
I love what I do like about it is how like you could be far and from the distance it almost looks like it's just paint. I almost feel like.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you did. I think that looks awesome. But it's definitely a solid game that, you know, I think definitely fell under a lot of people's radars no matter what, just because
How do you feel about the Zelda clone? I mean, on the outside looking in, it looked like a complete Breath of the Wild clone. Were you feeling that when you're playing it? Because I didn't really feel it.
I felt that I was like
in the beginning I started, but after going back to Zelda, combat is so different. I struggled.
Well, the combat wise is different, but like even like just you know, there's definitely a lot of like, I mean, I can't help but think like the magnesis. You know, that always gets to me, like the whole magnesis.
Yeah, but it works completely different in this game. There's only one instance where it's similar, where somebody could lifted themselves up, but I felt like.
Yeah, well, I noticed you couldn't like lift yourself up or anything like that, which that was something different. But then, because I would stand in the thing, I'm like, can I lift myself? And I can't. All right.
It was utilized for puzzles. I thought way different.
It was, Zelda. and the puzzles were solid. There were nothing like too like, holy shit, this is so complicated. At least in the main story. Maybe the vault, like
the New Gods one has, the DLC has some of the better puzzles.
Really? Okay. And it's like I said, I did enjoy the vaults. Some of them get a little bit too long. I feel like I'm like, damn man, this shit's been 2 hours.
I never felt.
Yeah. Holy shit, this thing.
Those were the main ones though. Think of those like.
Yeah, they get lengthy. I'm like, but the thing is, it's my fault because I'm like I'm playing. I'm like, all right, well, I get to the vault or some shit. And I'm like, all right, I'll just play until the vault's done. Like, wait, and I play. I'm like, wait a minute, this vault's still going.
Sometimes I would suspend the game, right, or save before a vault. Say, you know what, I'll play tomorrow. Or
that's what I ended up doing. Like the last few times, because I was like, wait a minute. All right, if every single vault's gonna be this long, I might as well not start right now when I'm about to finish. Where's the logic in that?
What you said you finished some other games.
I did. I also finished. Hold on. I know I just said. Well, today I literally finished Call of the Sea, which is really good, man. And I think T, you would like that game.
Which one is that? Because I think
you might have. Well, you guys haven't seen it.
The demo for.
It was on. Well, it came to PlayStation 5 a few months ago, I think, but it launched on Xbox and PC, and it was it was kind of walking simulator-esque but puzzle adventure game.
Oh, that one. Isn't that on you said Game Pass? Yeah, it's
on Game Pass also. Yeah, and it's really good, man. Like it's legit. I'm not even. It made me cry at the end. And a lot of games make me cry at the end, but I had a tear. I had a tear that fell down my eye, man. And I was like, this is good. This is really good. Those puzzles though, that shit is intense. Like there's some really damn tough tough ones in there. And
what the hell is this? I thought it was called. Oh, this is a history on Myst. I thought I was gonna get gameplay on Call of the Sea.
What the hell happened?
A brief history of Myst somehow opened when I. That was a.
No, like legit. Some of those puzzles though, I was like, I have to look this up, man. Like there was a few of them where I looked up, and when I mean I looked at the solutions, I literally was like, I still don't get this. I literally still don't get this. I mean, I legit still don't get this. But then it's not like I did it for every puzzle, but it was a few of them. But like even like today, like I played it and I just needed a guidance. And I just did one time. I just saw one tiny thing, one thing that you clicked. I'm like, oh, and then it all clicked with me. Like, oh, that's what I was. Duh. Okay. And it sucks because I actually passed by it and I didn't see a button prompt, so I just ignored it. And it turns out there was a button prompt there.
Must have been rushing through.
No, it wasn't. But it's legit. Like that story is really nice and
I didn't know this game was like that. You know, honestly, I didn't know that's how. The game was
very puzzle focused, super puzzle focused.
So it was like this person controlling the camera, looking around, or
that's.
So you actually move in a first person. You can look.
Yeah, you're moving right now, like how you're seeing right. That's how you're moving in the game, and it's very puzzle focused, very very puzzle heavy, and technically story driven.
Yeah, that's my kind of shit.
And no, yeah, T would really like it, and but man, that the ending did hit me, and I was just like, oh, oh boy, I feel a tear coming on, and I did have a tear come on, and it was really good, man. Oh, and to be fair, since we missed the last week, I did finish Hyrule Warriors, which I said I'd tell you guys before. That was a really good game.
Better final boss than Breath of the Wild.
Which nah, I'm sorry, man. Look, that
the boss fight, but the design I meant.
Well, the design, yeah, I mean, that design is badass. But I even like the Breath of the Wild final boss. It's epic. It's grand.
I think so.
Yeah, I did too.
Well, a lot of people didn't though. I feel like a lot of people didn't. Like I remember hearing
I think it was soured by what do they call him? The
Pig Ganon.
Was it
just Ganon? I think that's just.
Oh, you're talking about Beast Ganon?
Was it Beast Ganon? Yeah.
Giant yellow.
That looked cool, right? But yeah, it wasn't.
I liked it though.
I enjoyed that.
It looked cool as shit, and it was so underwhelming.
But it was no. It was
Robert must have like, how do I control this horse? By the time you got to the end, you hadn't been on one yet. What happens if you don't tame a horse? I wonder what happens if you don't tame a horse.
Technically,
horse shit.
Don't get me wrong. Technically, it's easy. Technically, that part is easy, but I don't care. It's epic. It's fun. It's super hype. I loved it. I thought it was awesome.
Yeah, but you know I gotta go back to my fave. The fight with Ocarina of Time was epic and all that shit, and it was still fun. You know what I'm saying? It was still a fun battle.
But I thought it was fun.
Ganondorf, as you know, you playing tennis and shit. So that's one part. So but then you know the epicness came from when the fucking castle collapsed. Spoiler alert! And then Ganon comes out of the rubble and shit. Yeah. And then it was still a fun fight. It was still an intense, and that fucking music, man, goddamn.
And then I actually did, I guess, because I think it was between it. I finished one more game.
But were you compelled to repair the robot guy at the end, or didn't you care?
Nah. I mean, especially when you were telling me it was like an extra 20 hours, like, all right, man, I'm so close to the end of 2020 games, I can finally say it. I'm like, that's not Russian. That's not Russian. I actually technically,
well, you're not taking the time to enjoy.
I think I was more than. I actually think I was a little bit more than the average time for the main story.
Is there any games that you've played that were 2020 games where you're just like, I want to keep playing this game. Like, I don't care.
Yeah, man. Remember, I did Yakuza. I did like all the side quests. Okay. I did legitimate, and that's why it took me so long because the average play time for that was, I think, main story is like 40 hours, and I played it for I think almost 70. Like I kept playing that game.
So that should be your game of the year for 2020 then.
Hey man, but we'll see what happens. It's
the only game you wanted to keep playing after you.
Well, remember, there's also a lot of there's Hades that just kept
that one. Yeah, you played that a little bit more.
Hades.
You know, but then I also did finish this game called The Big Con, which I think also T would like, which I got a review copy of. That was also really Now you like that too. That's on. I'm pretty sure it's Xbox PC. So check it out on your Series X, yo. Look it up. The big comments, 90s and stuff. You would like that, yo. It's all 90s shit.
All right, so Robert, you're done for a while. Let's see if anybody. I played the WarioWare demo. I can't for the life of me even think of the name of the game. It's just the new WarioWare game. I know it has a subtitle to it. It's fun. It's like I haven't played a WarioWare since Twisted. No, I rented Smooth Moves on the Wii. That was the last time I played one. And it's fun. I mean, the demo's fun. I mean, I probably get my fill out of the game playing the demo, though, because, I don't know, I've always enjoyed those games, but once I get through them, and they're not super long, I usually just, that's it, you know. I owned the original on Game Boy Advance and Twisted on Game Boy Advance. It's fun, though, I gotta say. I am tempted. I don't know if it's worth $50.
I mean, it's got a lot of, you know.
I don't know if it's worth owning. I think the Metacritic was a little low on it. Like, well, not low, but lower than I expected. It's like in the low mid 70s. I thought someone said, I mean, like 76. That's kind of in the ballpark for these double A, single A Switch games. You know, like the Mario Golfs, the Mario Tennis. You know,
I'm curious. You know, again, like it depends on how you look. I'm curious how a game like
I don't know what the other ones did. Get it together.
Well, the other ones like the other ones did what did like mid 80s. I remember the lowest one might have been 83 or something.
It's weird because
usually around 80 to low 80s.
Yeah, because the Metacritic score is 76, but the user score is 8.5. So
well, user score I can't look at in the slightest. I'm sorry. Like,
I don't think there's going to be too many people going to that game though and just
let me go review Bomb Warrior.
I don't think.
In the end of the day, user scores are always it's 9 times out of 10 it's a 10 or a 0. And that's it. All it is. You know, it's just
Get It Together is the name of the game.
Yeah, Get
It Together.
So I mean, it's one of those series too. You're either gonna love it or you're just not gonna give a shit. You know, like I don't think there's gonna be any middle ground with the WarioWare.
No, there is no middle ground.
I'm playing it, but it's gonna be a while to play.
It'll be 2023 by the time you play it.
Yeah, fucking around with your
But hey, I'm gonna be playing this like starting tomorrow.
That's not a good thing.
Now, I don't care if you rush to that. I don't have any personal attachment, but every review I've ever said the side quests are better than the main game. You'd be really missing out if you don't.
But again, don't get me wrong. I play some of the side stuff just to check it out, and if I enjoy it, I'll continue. But nothing quite hooks me like that Yakuza, man. That Yakuza Like a Dragon just.
I'm waiting for the.
That's because that hits your type of goofy that you fucking.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
I'm waiting for the PS5 patch, even though it runs really solid. The PS4 version on PS5.
Yeah, at this point, you might as well wait for the PS5.
But
at this point,
I'm not. I still got to start Hades and finish Horizon.
Will it be free?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we'll see.
We're definitely going to talk about some lack of some charging for upgrades that aren't even freaking upgrades. I do want to say it's not a new thing. I played Horizon Frozen Wilds a couple more times, and T said it when he played the DLC. He liked the game. I almost want to start the game over. Like I'm really enjoying Horizon now that it's 4 years later after Breath of the Wild was completely out of my system. I'm really enjoying the combat.
Game plus that bitch.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about it. I took on the mission I couldn't beat. Now that I have my shield armor, I was like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna go take on that. Was it Saberjaw? What is the big one's called? Sabertooth or Saberjaw? Something like that. The big T-Rex looking one. It was a.
Oh yeah.
It was a Thunderjaw. It was the corrupted version. And it was a mission something about Queen. It was this little kid. And I had been so long since I started that mission. There's so many steps to it, and I got stuck at the super tough Thunderjaw. Finally, I went and beat it with that shield armor, and I'm like watching the cutscene. I don't remember the beginning of the storyline. It was so long ago. It was like 3 years ago, and I'm like, okay, I'll watch this cutscene. I have no idea what's going on.
You talking about when she's a little girl and stuff?
There's a little girl. There was a little girl, not Aloy.
Not Aloy. Yeah.
There's
the beginning of Horizon.
No, it's the end of Horizon. It's like one of the last missions I didn't finish.
My bad. I thought you were talking about the beginning.
There's a few more exclamation points popped up, and I was like, I might do these other side quests. Like I'm really enjoying the Frozen Wilds. I posted just a short minute plus clip of the tall neck, and I'm like, I'm hearing this noise, and the video didn't capture like the sound was like, and the snow was so heavy, I barely see something move in the distance, so I was like, all right, let me record this. And I had already seen that one, but the weather had changed, so I get close, and it's getting close. All of a sudden, it's right on top of me, and it's just towering above me, and the animation on that thing for a game that came out in 2017 just blows my mind still.
So was I overselling the DLC, or? I'm
enjoying it. I mean, I don't know that it's like that much different than the main game. I think I'm just in a better place, and I find the story more interesting with this group, this clan, whatever you want to call them. And the voice acting's really good with the characters in it. So that was kind of different from a lot of the side missions in the main game. Like the really side missions have some really bad voice acting, and the automatic lip syncing that's all over the place.
I think the ending is better. Like because I beat the DLC before finishing the main game, and I was like, how come this ending in the DLC is better than the fucking game main ending and shit?
I just took on the chieftain, and then we had to fight 3 of those freaking gorilla things. How far do you think I am through that DLC?
You're probably in the last 20%.
Okay. Well, I'll go do a little more extra stuff then, because I'm just back kind of enjoying the game. I think I was a little hard on it back when I was still playing Breath of the Wild when I picked it up I
was hard on it too.
In June 2017 with ARMS. I bought those 2 games, and I'm enjoying the combat. I mean, gyro aiming would make the shooting the bow just so much better. But I really like targeting certain like their tanks on their back, and there's some good strategy there.
Like, especially like the Thunderjaw, you fucking shoot that gun off and you can pick that bitch up and blast them with that shit.
Yeah, so I'm enjoying that, and I definitely I'm probably gonna finish the DLC, and then I'm gonna start Hades. I'm still trying to. I got a few more things left in Returnal. I got one more
Hades is so good, man.
thing to get the real ending. So I think I'm at 55 hours in that. So anyway, anybody else start or finish any games?
Man, I'm suffering from what do you call it?
Moving.
I was gonna say fatigue, but that's not the right word. Suffering from depravity, gaming depravity right now. I can't play like I want. I'm like, I get mad when it's like I have to go to bed at night and shit. I haven't played any fucking game. I turned into a little fucking 14-year-old and shit. Fuck. So yeah, I would like to play, and I look at games all the time that, man, I want to play, but I just can't right now. I can't. And this is basically the last week of packing and shit. So I'm on the last stretch here. So I think I want to play something. I can't. If I dive into something right now, I'm gonna end up like not doing what I need to do, and I'm gonna get yelled at. What else you doing? We gotta get out of here in a week.
I remember when I moved. This was 2014 or something. I remember the last thing that I packed was my Wii U and Hyrule Warriors, and I was playing through Hyrule Warriors. It was the very last thing. Everything was completely gone, and I just had like my TV on the floor and my Wii U, and I'm just playing Hyrule Warriors on the floor.
I'm thinking about, because there's gonna be at least probably 2 full days where I got access to nothing. Like my TV's gonna be down.
Oh my god, man!
I mean, like but I mean, I got my laptop, so I can still do some Steam gaming and whatnot. And obviously my Switch, I could still off TV with that, but it's gonna suck. It's gonna suck, man.
Oh, I would imagine.
I don't know about you, T, but like when you're forced to play a certain console, you're like, nah.
Yeah, when you're forced to play it, like, okay, I guess I'll play it because I have to.
Yeah.
But I'd like being able to choose the fuck I want to play. So.
Yeah. So you're like, oh, man, god damn, all right, fine, I'll play.
That's what happens when you're deprived of your freedom.
Yeah.
The fuck you mean I can't choose? That's some bullshit.
I have way too much choice to have it taken away right now.
Yeah, it's like you got this big ass collection.
Yeah.
You can't touch none of it.
None of this shit. Half this shit's already packed up. It's like, fuck.
Oh man,
I know, man.
that's
Struggle's
brutal.
real.
That's
Yeah.
brutal.
All right,
Fucking,
you go ahead, Tro.
all I was gonna say is the reason I've just been in mid game. I've just been in middle. No More Heroes 3, and then I'm.
Oh
and
yeah, that's a game too. That I have.
Yeah, you bought that. I was very curious. I was hoping you had played some of it because I was
I
curious.
hadn't touched it at all.
I know, and it bums me out.
Oh, man.
And then I saw fucking Tale of Arise come out last week.
I keep hearing about Tales of Arise.
And
I heard it's really
I
good.
saw that shit, and I was like, "Fuck, I don't
You
need
know what?
another game right now, yo."
You know what kind of scared me off from looking in a little further is it's like Xenoblade Chronicles 2 times 10 with the with your party members shouting things constantly and then the enemy shouting.
Really?
It's so ridiculous. It's literally 5 or 6 people shouting at the same time the whole battle. I'm like, I can't do that.
I know that bothers. I don't mind that.
I don't care how good that game is. I'm not going through that again. Like
some of the best dialogue is in those sections.
God forget me.
But I mean, it's
God
literally just
forget me.
it's 5 different voices simultaneously. You can't even tell what the hell they're saying. It's like it's ridiculous.
I figured the battle style and the graphics would be enough for you, sir.
Well,
Because it looks really fucking good. I'm not even. I can't even.
Curious, Juice. Are you gonna pick up something like Psychonauts or something? I feel like maybe one of those game like it might be up your alley.
He's so close to Metroid.
I was just like, I was literally gonna do it.
Yeah, that's true too.
I was gonna do a Juice Opinions if I would have had time, talking about during the Wii U era. I realized something. I really just enjoyed focusing on a smaller amount of games and giving them 100% of my attention and really diving deep into them versus playing games and move on to the next one type of thing. Because with Resident Evil 8, I forgot we were talking about potential or game of the year, type lists already earlier. I had forgot I had played that game because it was right around I was trying to finish up Days Gone. I was trying to start Returnal, and I was doing Immortal stuff, and I kind of just played through the game, and I was interested by the end. I was like, you know what? I kind of want to restart it because the first quarter of the game is really good, and I liked where it ended. And then I just didn't, and I had completely forgotten that I had played the game, and I was like, if I didn't have another game to play right after, I think I would have went back in. And I do want to. I'm going to start it up before making a game of the year decision. I'm going to start. I always start every game again and at least play some couple hours at least. I think for me personally, it just definitely works better when I focus on 1 or 2 games and get everything out of them that I'm going to, and then that's just what works best for me. So I'm not really rushing to pick up any. I still got, like I said, Hades to start. I want to finish start the 3rd DLC in Immortals. I want to finish Horizon and possibly play. I'm going to play some more of the side missions I skipped from my original playthrough, and then Metroid Dread. Metroid
Dread, and tomorrow's Kena.
That's going to be the next topic we want to talk about. Kena previews and reviews have been non-existent. Well, I found out there's a review embargo that don't lift till tomorrow, the release date.
That's a little concerning.
There hasn't been a preview in 3 months.
I don't.
And Sony just put out a launch trailer. So that was one of those games where I'm like, I definitely need. It looks good, but I need to know exactly what I'm getting into. Is this a 3-hour game or I would say a 5-hour game with 3 hours of cutscenes? I think they had. What'd they say the length? I think they said 1.5 hours of cutscenes. I think.
What is that face, dog? Stop.
Like, is this like a very linear, not much exploration, but a good combat system? There's just some things I want to know. The game looks absolutely stunning, art style wise, character wise. The setting, the story seems. I like the fantasy, the story that they seem to be going for. There's a lot going for it. It's just. Why have a review embargo until when the game comes out? They've had the codes for 2 weeks, I guess. So I don't know. But it's one of those things. it's not even about the score. I'm gonna be reading for specific things. If
Oh
like I
yeah,
said,
yeah, for sure.
if it's a 5-hour game and it has an hour and a half cutscenes and 2.5 hours of gameplay, yeah, I'm not gonna pick it up. You know, like $40. That's a little steep for that short of time. I've always been more of a I want to get some value for my money, not just a one-time experience. So we'll see. Yeah. But I'm looking forward to finding out when the reviews come out tomorrow. I might even watch some at midnight tonight if people post them. So
yeah, I wonder if you will post it.
Because I think what was the last game? It's not a huge game, but there was I don't know if did Cyberpunk have reviews? No, they came out like 2 days before, I think.
Yeah, but that 2 days.
But they couldn't review. They had to review the PC version.
They had to have the PC, but they also had footage that they were given.
Yep, for the other version.
Wasn't it one that was it Death Stranding I'm thinking of, or
Nah, Death Stranding had reviews before.
There was one, and it didn't turn out well.
Oh, Metal Gear. Wasn't it Metal Gear?
Oh, I don't know. We're going a little bit back now.
I know I'm going a little bit
6 years now. I'm not too sure.
I remember because I remember this whole thing about you couldn't.
I don't know if there's a physical version for Kena either.
Apparently there is.
No, there isn't.
I thought there was.
What, Kena's digital?
It didn't come up on Best Buy, so that's
digital only.
How much is it?
I think it's 40.
There was a maybe it's only the digital.
Man, Tales of Arise.
Physical deluxe thing.
I thought maybe they mentioned that it shipped already.
This is crazy. I was looking for Kena and I see.
Yeah. So okay, here we go. So there's a physical version in November.
Okay.
So they're coming out with and it's $50.
So this is going to take us into another topic.
Yeah, it marked it up. They marked it up.
I searched for Kena Bridge of Spirits, and a bunch of other PS5 games came up.
Yeah.
Marvel, Guardians of the Galaxy, PlayStation 5, $59.99.
Right. That comes out.
Deathloop, $59.99. Tales of Arise, PS5 version, $59.99. Hearing a pattern here? A bunch of PS5 games for $59.99, not $69.99. When this Tales is not an exclusive to next gen, right? It's on PS4, if I'm not mistaken.
Maybe those games don't have the PS5.
I know
pony deaths on it.
I haven't watched reviews of Deathloop to know if it utilizes the haptics. I don't know if it uses.
Tales of Rise is on PS4. You're right.
Because Deathloop's only on. Yeah. Well, it's on PS5. It's not on PS4, but it's also on PC.
But still, like, and I can't remember the timing since the last podcast. I know we talked about this pricing thing a bunch, but they backed and said, well, if you buy the PS4 version of Horizon, you get a free upgrade. Future games don't expect that. And I'm thinking, there's been a lot of backlash. I just clicked on a couple random podcasts. One was, God, it was such a good pun. It was something to do with Horizon Forbidden West. They spun the title to it was beautiful. I wish I could remember it. So I clicked on it, and they're saying the same thing. Why is there a $10 difference for the same game? There can't be. It's not like it takes that much money or that much development time to implement the 3D audio or the haptics and stuff. Like, even if it could take some extra development time, no other company's doing it. Not a single other company. So they did the Sony's, what was it, the PlayStation Showcase? I thought maybe they would address it and come out with like some kind of PR or something, and they just completely ignored it entirely. And I thought if they were going to change their mind, that would have been the time to do it. But I do like that a bunch of people were speaking out. Digital Foundry called them out a couple times. They were kind of ripping it because they broke down, and I don't really want to go through the whole showcase. There's definitely some highlights, but they broke down the Uncharted announcement, and it said all footage running on PS5, and it's 1440p, the identical resolution and settings of the PS4 Pro version, running at 60. But there's no price announcement for that or anything, but they're calling it a remaster, and it's literally just a 60 frames per second patch, just like Last of Us got for free, you know. At this point, what they showed was the PS4 Pro version running at 60, and they're calling that a remaster. Now, if it's two games for 40, this whole conversation would be pointless, but I have a feeling it's going to be 70 for the 2 games.
Yeah, they would give us the price if it was a decent price.
I think so. But there's still time. They could, if there's enough backlash. I did see quite a few people calling that specifically. Like, I already own these games, Sony. Is there going to be a free update? A 60 frames per second patch? You can't. I'm sorry. You can't release it as a remaster if it's literally just a 60 frames per second. Like, even The Last of Us remastered was
you can't be putting out $60-$70
maybe we know Sony likes to copy Nintendo, so this could be one of the things. This could be something they're copying, because to me, if this Uncharted collection comes out at 70 and it's minimal upgrade other than the 60 FPS, that will be the bottom, the low. You can't get any lower unless it was still at 30. Then that would be the worst.
Man, imagine.
See, I don't care about them re-releasing a game and having a PS5 version, but relaunching Ghost of Tsushima. It's a great game. I didn't mind that. It just bugged me that they forced the director's cut on you and then the $10 price difference.
That's the thing, yeah.
It's just
director's cut. Kiss my ass.
Like I said before, the PS5 and Xbox even came out, I was just like, I don't mind if they want to relaunch, like Control, before that all that bullshit happened. Fine, relaunch Control as a PS5 and Series X game. I don't care about that. But when you deny the loyal fans who bought it full price at launch the opportunity for an upgrade, that's the shit that it's just stupid, and I don't know if they, like I said, there's still time. They could, maybe the backlash will make them rethink Uncharted and the pricing, but I'm a little concerned that that's to me that's the low of the low so far.
Well, they at least do seem to adhere to the backlash. Nintendo, you can complain about them forever.
Microsoft and Sony will change, will backtrack.
I guess what bothers me more so is when it's this frequent. I feel like Sony's, at least recently, it feels like people are complaining about
2
Sony.
times isn't that frequent. I mean, it's more than Nintendo, but Nintendo doesn't backtrack at all. So
ever.
There's been backlash. They just do nothing about it. Microsoft did one with the gold double the price, which they immediately undid. And it's like, I don't know. It just feels like, I felt like if you're going to do a Uncharted remaster, you don't have anything out ready for the rest of the year after Deathloop. I think that was probably their intended release window, and it must have got delayed. But I don't know. To me, that stood out. There was way too many remasters at the PlayStation Showcase, and GTA 5 was literally the same situation.
Yeah, I can't.
No graphical improvements.
Was the remasters? When no other problem?
I think I know.
The only other thing I can think of is just showing a couple games way too early. That would be the only.
Well,
it's been a couple weeks, T. I don't fucking know.
That's a fine. No, T. You can go for
CGI trailers?
Yeah, that's what I figured he was gonna go for. That's what I figured you were gonna go
for. What? I don't remember.
The CGI trailer. Everybody have a hissy fit.
Oh no, hell's it?
What CGI trailer?
There's quite a bit of CGI trailer stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of CGI.
Well, for the Spider-Man.
Just Wolverine and Spider-Man.
Wolverine and Spider-Man.
Oh, there's one more.
Well, those were technically in the engine, but still.
And who was the other one?
Cinematic.
No. We can't.
Wolverine looked like CGI.
Wolverine is CGI. There's
but
no way in my mind.
Spider-Man was running.
And Spider-Man
in engine. That was an in-engine cutscene.
It was still CG.
That ain't CG.
It was a cutscene.
Yeah, I don't.
Well, cutscene.
Cutscene. I
we know what
mind.
Spider-Man gonna look like, right?
Yeah.
So that's whatever, right? But
the Wolverine one, yeah.
We got to keep same energy. Let's keep the same energy. So they didn't really show Spider-Man. They definitely didn't show Wolverine. And there's one more game. I can't remember what's the other game.
I'll go.
I don't remember the other
that
one.
was CGI.
I would say the bigger issue is just showing games that are 2-3 years out like that.
I don't understand.
I mean, that's an issue too.
I didn't even at that point. It's just
question.
like why.
Here's my question: Which is supposed to come first, Wolverine or Spider-Man? That's my question.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man's 2023. It's like why everybody knew you're making a sequel. I don't understand why you felt the need to show that.
I don't see. I wouldn't have shown both. I think Spider-Man could have waited.
You didn't have to show. honestly either of them because
No.
they're not.
Actually,
Like,
Wolverine could have waited really in general. Actually,
I guess.
So I guess I was just
they
distracted
didn't
by
show
the.
And I believe if Wolverine again had come out, only for the Xbox. Oh my God! Here they go buying up another, keeping a game that should be on every platform and from everybody. That would be the complaint. We all know it. That would be the complaint. So
I don't.
I mean, you already got Spider-Man locked up. I mean, that's Spider-Man. All of a sudden, you can't play that, but only on one system.
The Knights of Old Republic.
I'm not too worried about that, T, because it's
Knights of Old
Insomniac, and I don't.
But I'm just talking about. I'm talking about the principle of the thing. I don't care either way. Like because
I'd be more honest.
Like, okay, another. I don't care that much about licensed, superhero games. I just don't. So even if it's a good game, like Spider-Man, I can't get too excited about Spider-Man. I know it's a good game, but it's still, to me, it's just I got a bunch of Spider-Man games.
I'm gonna throw this out here. I'm low key disappointed. Two things.
Kotar was the other one where they just showed CG, but that's not Sony.
That's it.
Yeah,
they're partnered with Sony, but that's
by the way, that game was on everything. So again, had that game been locked up for other systems,
is that exclusive though?
It'd been crying all over.
That is exclusive.
Well, it's on PC also. I think
it's console exclusive. I'll say that.
Well, but everything that comes out on Xbox is on PC also. But people still complain, is what I'm saying. They're complaining.
Well, I mean, you know me. I don't when it comes to PC, but the whole thing is I think it's a launch exclusive. It's coming to Xbox, but I think it's launch exclusive. Like I don't think it's gonna be.
Yeah, I didn't think that was
going to
be exclusive.
It's timed.
Time.
But again, we don't like timed exclusives either.
Yeah, no, I think it's dumb. Don't get me wrong.
People complain about time exclusives.
Random. Like, why that game out of everything are they gonna make that timed exclusive?
I mean, I didn't.
Yeah, who gives a shit? Like, I beat KOTOR like 3 times.
Well, it's the same thing. It's the same.
Is it gonna be like a Final Fantasy VII thing, where it's that different? Because if not,
Yeah, they did a little interview after.
It'll probably be like Demon Souls. If I take
it's gonna be like a Demon Souls thing. Well,
like
I don't really care too much. I already beat the shit out of that game. So
yeah, that was who's making? I mean, they have
Aspire, I think. What is it?
Yeah.
Aspire thing.
So my biggest, like I said, I was too distracted by, well, first off, Wolverine. Insomniac's making another fucking. I'm not excited about it. I mean, Spider-Man was a good game. I mean, it was fun. But I'm not like through the roof for the sequel. I hope sequels. I hope the sequel's better. But when I see I was so disappointed that Insomniac's making a Wolverine game that I didn't even think about anything else. Like I'm just like, oh, the Insomniac's making that. Fuck. Like I'm probably not going to be that great.
What do you think we should make it? What do you think?
I'd rather see like a. Oh, go ahead, Terrell.
I was gonna say my issue was more so that it was Wolverine. I'd rather they have picked something a little bit more.
I mean,
more a lesser known Marvel property. Personally, when I first saw the trailer, I thought it was gonna be Ghost Rider originally. That was what I first initially thought.
Do fucking Daredevil or some shit.
I was
excited about that.
But I mean, Daredevil, they probably use the same fighting thing. But for Wolverine, I'd rather have like a team that's good at action games, like make a Wolverine game,
like some Platinum.
But not, I don't know about today's Platinum, but I don't know where that studio's at, honestly.
Damn.
For me, I'm not sure about that these days. I think they bit off more than they can chew.
I'm right there with you, bro.
What was that? Babylon's Fall looks like garbage.
Yeah, but come on. To be fair, what's their last
Astral Chain? Astral Chain was like decent game. It's a good game.
No, that shit was great.
It was really good.
It was great.
Until I went and tried to 100% it, and I went through some of these really boring, tedious missions again. I'm like, oh yeah,
some of the missions.
There's some really bad missions in that game, but
it's a good game. It's still, but is that all Platinum or it was a Nintendo input?
Sure.
I don't know.
So anyway, getting back to the showcase, so I was gonna say, to me, the thing that stood out was GTA 5. Why the fuck? And it got delayed.
Yeah.
And literally,
it did get delayed. That was
literally, it's PS4. I don't even think they did a Pro and Series or a 1X upgrade for that game. It's just 60 frames per second, the PS4 version. It's like, why the fuck are you charging people for that? You already had the backwards compatibility. Oh, it's 60 frames per second now. Why isn't the PS4 version 60 frames per second via backwards compatibility? It's just stupid. Which, I mean, that's Take-Two or whatever, but that's coming to Series X. Same bullshit, on both systems.
Don't buy that goddamn game. Nobody buy that shit.
Then we got
60. I mean, well, I guess it would be. I don't know.
Then they had the Uncharted remasters.
Yeah.
We had KOTOR, which is a remake. It's not Sony, but I feel like there was one or two more that was like
Gran Turismo.
No, I'm talking about remasters. I'm
talking about
remaster. Last gen games. I thought there was like one more for sure.
I'm skimming through it. I don't see anything else.
Maybe not.
And let's see. I'll skim through it too.
And then I thought like I said, the showing games that are so far out, like that was gonna be my complaint, T, before we kind of got sidetracked. That was my complaint about Xbox, is like they showed games that aren't 2 years out, 2, 3, 4 years. We don't know, like I don't like that, and I didn't like it.
They gave you a date. Them motherfuckers gave you a date, 2024. I'm like, what?
2023, but yeah, like. Why?
Oh, there you go, Alan Wake. That's what it was. Alan
Wake was the other remaster.
Yeah, Alan Wake.
I knew there was one.
Alan Wake.
But I'm actually now that I've enjoyed Control so much, I'm tempted to give Alan Wake a chance. And if I'm going to play it, I guess I'll play the remaster. But
you're tempted? Yeah, I mean, obviously, you play the remaster for sure. Well, yeah. I think probably.
But for me, it was what, 4 old games, 2 of which just already running backwards compatibility mode. So what's the point? And then showing games that are so far down the road, it's like, wow, you had a pretty good show. Otherwise, so that was basically the negatives. There was a couple stellar highlights for me. So
well, I'd also say that it took like 4 minutes to actually get into it.
Yeah, they had that long
commercial.
Like they spent a lot on that commercial too.
They did.
We're already watching this shit. We don't need
they're gonna use that.
You know what it reminds me of though? It reminds me of those PS3 commercials that they used to do that were weird as fuck and really didn't have any point other than.
I think they're gonna use that commercial in future ads, like, and break it up. It's
that's fine.
But don't start the showcase.
It looks
with
like
that.
a typical, Sony commercial. But do we need it?
Not at the beginning of the show.
No, we're already tuned in to PlayStation.
And there was where was I watching it? There was like 500,000 people at one point. I'm like, you don't start with that. Like no one's here for that. That's stupid.
Hell, you end with that if you really want to end it. That's the last final thing.
Ironically enough, people said it kind of petered out towards the end. Actually, that was the funny.
Well,
thing.
It's hard for me. It was hard to follow up. The 2 highlights was Project Eve, which looks fucking phenomenal.
You mean at the beginning of the damn thing?
Now, I've watched that trailer 4 times, man. That combat, they really got something going there. It's got some Bayonetta, like not quite witch time. I think it just slightly pauses, almost like more like Astral Chain, I guess. But I watched, was it 9 months ago? They had a whole boss fight. I never even heard of this game till that event. Well, there was like
did they really have it 9 months ago? I didn't.
6 or 9 months ago, someone posted a boss fight.
Really?
And it's it's a very strategic combat system, but it's not super dodge rolly like it's not like it doesn't look like a Souls game per se. And I'm like, damn, like that combat system looks amazing. I love the character design, obviously. In the world, everything about that looks phenomenal. And Digital Foundry thought they were all offended by her physique and the jiggle fit.
I'm so sick of this shit.
Except for the one dude that they just had he just said straight up, he called out, yeah, I'm looking at her butt, and then they got all awkward, the other guys. It was kind of funny. But
what the fuck?
And they were like, "Oh,
that was so
that's so early 2000s," and they're like dancing around it. Oh, it's like a doll, like, and he's like, "No, it's like." He was kind of challenging them on it, and I'm like,
"It's a fucking video game. Remember those?"
Yeah. They're like, "Oh, it's kind of like the Dead or Alive days." I'm like, they just released Soul Calibur and Dead or Alive, and fucking they all have that same.
Yeah. You say like that. That's a problem. It's not a problem.
It's
make it one.
They're like, oh, there was like 2 different crotch shots at one. I'm like, have you played Bayonetta?
They don't want to be viewed as problematic.
Yeah,
That's
they're
really
trying to
what
they're trying to appease.
That up during Bayonetta or no? You know what I
It
mean?
wouldn't
But-
surprise me if Bayonetta got something similar. Oh, they're still doing that with
That
Bayonetta.
game to me was stole the show. Like, that
Yeah, I'm
shit
seeing
stole
that
the show.
Problem
gameplay
is,
now. The
you know what the
3-minute
problem was?
gameplay, it looks nice.
It was at the beginning of the show. Like that's like one of the first.
I know,
games they
but
showed.
it's not bad to get people excited, but they didn't.
Well, I mean, I'm glad they gave it some spotlight.
I
'cause
think
it's
they
one of
had
those games that everyone knows
something
about.
for a lot of people, because the Gran Turismo stuff I just tuned right out. I could care less, like.
Really, I figured
After
that,
Forza
I figured
Horizon series, I can't
Okay,
just
but
go
no-
play
no-
a sim.
no- no
I
simulation
can't play a
racing.
sim after playing the Forza Horizon series. It's just.
I thought
Wow,
that the
okay.
Gran Turismo, I could be wrong, but it looked like they were getting a little bit more into the environments. I don't know. I thought maybe I was.
I mean,
seeing
it's a pretty game, but it's not like.
Did they talk about the fact that that bitch is always online?
No.
Oh, it's so funny how the narratives change.
What do you mean
Wait,
always
is it
online?
is it always online?
Even when you're playing single player shit's always online.
we're
That's
doing
that's
that
how
with
Forza
Halo.
Horizon works. Then you
Okay,
can.
but I don't have a problem. But a lot of people had a problem when it came to. Definitely when it came to Xbox One, that bitch is always out loud. No, they're spying on me. All this shit that they would come up with is like,
Yeah,
what the
I
hell?
think I don't know, man. I don't know where
I
you're
think that's-
going with that one. I gotta be
It's different
honest.
from the.
You
Let's
guys
talk
have
about
never
your
heard
system.
this before?
Your system being always online versus just a game being online. Like
Yeah,
that's
but
too different.
That's not the problem. Is you are what's the fucking thing called? Because they're trying to basically tempt down
moving the
piracy
goalposts?
and shit. I don't like any game being online either. So you gotta have you. Of course, you don't have to have the same energy, but you gotta have similar energy.
But-
when they're locking a game to always being online,
You're
It's the
saying you
same
can't
shit.
play it if you
Same
don't have an
thing.
online connection?
That's what they said. I don't know if they
I've-
changed that or not, but that's what the talk was.
I guess I'll just like I do with a lot of things. I'll wait till it's actually
Okay,
a
well-
fact and not just people
Well, I don't know if the
talking.
devs are lying about it, but that's what they're saying.
I would
know why
take
you
it
would
that
be.
they meant like Forza Horizon, like you see your friends driving around their ghosts, and it's always the world is filled with other people driving around. You drive through them, you don't crash into them unless you challenge them to a race. So it's like an online filled world. It's not like the game has to be online. You can play it offline. So I guess I'll wait.
That's not the case though.
I didn't hear that then. So if that's the case, then that's stupid, because what happens if your internet goes off? What happens if you're...
Yeah,
Well, I guess that would be the only...
That was a disaster when it came to what was that fucking game?
But-
SimCity. SimCity did that shit, and the game fucking barely worked.
Yeah, if they do
Yeah,
that,
well,
that's
that was a
stupid.
dark
That's
time.
absolutely stupid. But that's the first time hearing of it. So, but other than
Gotta get out here, man, and find these things out, man. They're out there.
like I said,
I don't
I'll
know.
wait
I
till
see
it's actually.
I don't really care about Gran Turismo to like.
I
really
currently don't have a lot of time to look up gaming news.
Let me ask you this, since considering I'm assuming Juice, your other highlight was what? God of War?
No, Forspoken.
Or spoken.
Oh, okay, all right, that's fair.
I can't play God of War. He get in the boat the same way as he did in the PS4.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No,
That's-
I promise
What
you.
the fuck was that?
God, I can't believe that got so much traction. Fuck.
Are you serious? I mean, are they serious?
Why did that
Oh,
get?
man.
Why did everybody retweet that shit?
Maybe they were
were-
surprised that people were actually making that a complaint.
Yeah,
I don't know.
But it just all it
it's-
did was make that dude's post get hundreds of thousands of fucking likes and
You don't know how
views.
Twitter works.
That too.
I don't think
Well,
you guys understand how Twitter works then. Because that's literally the
yeah,
point.
but I don't know. I don't retweet nonsense like that. I know a lot of people do.
Yeah, but a lot of
What's
people
gonna
do.
happen when Breath of the Wild 2 comes up, bruh? It's gonna get land-based for reusing assets and shit.
But, yeah.
No, I think
Yeah.
that's right.
Now I will say there is
Oh my god, he glides the same way. Can you believe this shit?
I thought a couple areas looked really clean, and I thought a close up of Freya definitely didn't look like a next gen God of War. It looked like, but they've been making it since
But it's
20.
not supposed to be a next gen.
No.
I never.
It's cross gen, so I can understand
Clearly.
someone saying I wish it was a full next gen game. I can understand that, but
I don't. I actually don't.
if you think it's a bad looking game, then I don't know what to tell you. It's still a really nice looking game. Some of the environments.
I just use it the fucking.
When did God of War come out?
2018.
Yeah.
What the fuck you expect in 3 years? Like, get this shit out of here, man.
No, I mean visually. I mean, look.
You want to be
Visually,
nice?
it's
definitely a
get
step
that game out
up.
of here.
visuals are just they look crazy good. I mean,
Yeah, it's a step up over.
That's a late gen PS4 game. That shit fucking looks glorious. Like, what the fuck? How much better you think that shit was gonna look? And when they obviously started working on that bitch right away.
Yeah, because they have a
right
different.
away.
That's why they have a different director, because they started immediately after.
Yeah.
And they didn't want the one Corey Barlog getting burnt out, so they switched. And I was like, I mean, I'm excited for it. I like the first game, and I like that it's a few years later. And boy is a little bit older, and you know, I'm looking forward to it. They didn't even I will say though, they didn't even commit to a year though. It just had nothing at the end.
Yeah, what was that about?
And he didn't even ask him.
I don't remember that.
No, it didn't even. I'm fully expected to come out this year, but they didn't commit to it. So that'd be
God of War.
Yeah,
2.
That would be
But
something.
they said the shit was gonna come out this year. How the hell they don't have a year?
No,
I don't think it's coming out this year.
I thought it was delayed.
Well, I know it's not coming this year.
No, they didn't commit to 2022. It said nothing.
That's what I'm saying. Like 2022 should be a commit. If you said this shit was coming out this year, and you're telling me you can't even guarantee 2022 now? What the fuck
I don't know what the reasoning was, but they left it.
Been in the pandemic already, so you can't say that was that.
But I mean, Kratos, it's the same
animation. Delayed to next year anyway.
They're using all the same animations. So I mean, it should have been done this year easy, because you know they're just reusing everything. Even though like I didn't see a single enemy that was the same, or the settings were all different. But you know.
Well, he got in that boat the same, so.
Yep.
Oh yes, it was delayed. It was delayed to next, but then this new trailer they didn't say. They didn't even say 2022. So it's like,
the one thing I do enjoy about the console war stuff is when one person says something stupid and then somebody comes with the counter for their preferred platform and just like throws it back in their face. So that's the only time I get any enjoyment. Some people were going back and forth with different games. They show like Gears of War 4 and 5. The main character, the girl, I forget her name. It was the exact same, like hopping over. It's like, come on, seriously? And he was like, "Oh, this is a new generation." It's like, and then so then there was a whole thing with Forza Horizon 4 and 5, and then Gran Turismo and stuff. And it's like, really, you can't be on either side of this, because they both games are borrowing the UI of Forza Horizon 5 or 6. Was it 5 or 5 is identical to 4's, like. So you can't call out Gran Turismo for looking similar. It's like, come on, guys.
Complaints.
It's just silly, but
especially with racing games. What the fuck? What's gonna happen? Oh, now you can see extra dirt on the car. What the fuck are they gonna do? What are they gonna do?
Yeah.
All they can do is give you new tracks. Something Nintendo was afraid to do when it comes to F-Zero.
Yeah.
We just want new tracks. Get some new tracks. You know.
But
better vision. We never had F-Zero.
Damn it!
All you gotta do.
Simplistic.
No,
what
we
else?
gotta do something new.
I feel like there was a couple games that I thought would appeal to other people, not myself particular. I feel like there was another.
They show that Rainbow Six Extraction again. That was random. I think.
Oh, yeah. That game sucks.
I feel like there was one where I was like, you know, I could see people getting excited for that. The Ghostwire one, I think.
Oh, Ghostwire, yeah,
pretty cool.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not nothing probably I would play, but I thought it looked pretty cool.
Definitely, I thought it looked pretty cool.
But I know there's been mixed reception for some reason on Forspoken, and I was like.
I thought Forspoken.
I like that fantasy setting. You know, it's a trope we've seen a million times of somebody from the present going back into older times, but
it doesn't seem like anything
in video games though. I don't know if you've seen that in video games.
Not as often, but in stories in general. But I like that she was like, I can do magic, you know, and was like new to it. It was like kind of like Harry Potter was similar. Like he didn't know magic existed.
The only thing is, I don't know if you know. I just feel like
I don't like how they're marketing.
Are off. I don't know if you know.
Yeah, the face,
like their faces are a little, like they look kind of dead. Like
yeah, and the voice work, the lip syncing was way off for the trailer. I don't know.
That might have been just a trailer.
And it's funny because you said it looked like Final Fantasy 15, and I think it uses the same engine.
Does it? That makes sense though. Because the world itself, like I saw it, I was like, that seems.
I thought it looked like Xenoblade Chronicles X. But the funny thing is when 15 was shown, people were like, "Oh, 15! Oh, this reminds me of Xenoblade Chronicles X when they first started showing 15." So,
well, you know why I don't think about Xenoblade Chronicles X as much as because Xenoblade Chronicles X has so much more variety.
I'll show her the spot where I got the.
No, yeah. Well, this one frame that I have looks like I could.
She's
I
like,
could see
there's like a
X.
branch. She's like flinging or running.
Yeah. That's actually where I'm at.
Yeah.
Yeah, that reminds me of
But
X.
then they
But
had
it
like
also reminds me of Final Fantasy 15.
Yeah, I didn't play that, so I guess I don't have as much.
But what I will also say though is that I have a feeling the reason I can't quite say Xenoblade Chronicles X is because I feel like X to me one of the big highlights is it had a lot of variety. You know, it had the different sections. Final Fantasy 15 did technically just was this. You know, it was just.
But there was that one area with like we had a castle to start, and then it's coming up. Like this right here, I mean, that kind of reminded me of the Rings. I'm not saying the art style or anything. I just meant like the world was kind of the alien world.
I can see what you're saying by that.
Let me find that one.
don't think. Admittedly, I don't think.
Right here.
I don't
this
know.
to me
I'm
just
curious.
completely. Oops, I didn't go live yet.
Yeah, but I was like, we can't see.
This completely feels like, just the section to the right. I just really got Xenoblade Chronicles vibes.
It also looks like Death Stranding on the
Why
left.
is
Lenny Wright made a good point about reusing assets. It's supposedly supposed to save you time.
Yeah.
But that shit hasn't been the case.
Not in Breath of the Wild. God of War.
God of War, I guess.
Spider-Man,
Remember the turnaround? Remember back in the day when the turnaround was like 2 years?
Yeah.
Not anymore. Goddamn.
Yeah, the faces are a little off, Robert. I don't know. Something about her face doesn't look right.
If you look at the when she's looking in the
That's
beginning.
like, yeah. But I thought the combat looks cool. I like the setting.
Kind of like looks around at the world and just it looks like she's not really looking at anything. It's kind of weird.
And I got Avatar: The Last Airbender vibes when she's doing some of the spells. She's doing like the martial arts moves of very reminiscent of like a waterbender or airbender. Like right here when she freezes a guy, and I was like, you know what, that kind of reminds me of that. I'd love to see an Avatar: The Last Airbender game, like a good one. So right here, she does like this.
Oh yeah.
This is like
that is like that is.
It's like an airbending move. So it looks cool. I'm not saying it's gonna turn out to be going to be great, but I'm intrigued by what
I think. I have a feeling. I have a feeling, and I'm predicting that it's gonna be. That's gonna be one of the. A fantastic game. Like we're gonna at least.
I don't know about.
I can't wait till Robert plays it in 2024.
I'm feeling Final Fantasy 15s. Remember, I thought that game was awesome.
My problem. The coolest thing about it just seems to be like the movement. Like it.
Yeah, but that's what I like. Do you see how fast?
Yeah, I'm a little worried about the story. The little bit of story they cut in there didn't look
like other than like the visual effect and like the fact that like she can move so speedily and like quickly through areas. I like it kind of, I don't know, it doesn't grab me other than like, oh shit, the combat looks cool or the movement looks cool, but like that's about it. Like, no.
Yeah, it's more of the sum of the parts for me than any individual thing that looked like amazing, but we'll see. You know, it's just something that I'm gonna keep my eye on.
No, definitely. I mean, I think it looks cool. I think it looks super dope though.
All right. God, what else was not from the showcase, but I feel like there was another topic earlier I was gonna get to.
Well, you already
talked about Kana. We talked about the showcase and the bullshit with the pricing. I don't know. I think that was maybe that was it.
Well, let me see.
There's a few minor things.
They showed we didn't talk about. I really like that game. It's gonna be not talked about much. It's called
what's the name?
The colorful game, man.
You're talking about the one with the little girl where she can
the only game with color.
The one where she can like jump into animals and
man.
Yeah,
I thought that looked cool. I thought it looked cool.
Yeah,
it was one of my highlights of that for sure. I really like how it was
I thought it was a nice little.
And isn't it like
Hey man, it looks big, bro. You see that?
Aren't the developer from like an African country or something? I think they're.
Yeah, I don't want to say the term because I don't quite know it, but but I do love the transformation of the animals. I think that looks pretty cool, and it looks again fluid in the movement where you're able to just quickly turn into a bird and shit. That could be fun, man. Seems up my alley.
And you were saying that the developers of that Solar Ash kind of spin another indie game. They were describing it as
their
version of Mario.
Galaxy. meets Shadow of the Colossus. That's
Yeah.
some big. That's some big.
You can't throw those two out there, and it,
Yeah, you can't just throw that shit out there. You better be.
that's like too. I mean, Shadow didn't age as well as Galaxy, but that was still a legendary game on the PS2, and it's like still.
Yeah. They just casually said it's kind. I'll pitch it to you like a Samurai Galaxy meets Shadow of the Colossus.
I always thought it looked really cool. I wasn't sure about how it was going to play.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. I don't quite 100% know how it plays, but hey, man, trailers look interesting, and I love that art style, and I'm like, hell yeah. And then you say it's kind of maybe like Samurai Galaxy. All right, sure. I'll at least check it out for sure. Solar Ash, I was already gonna pick it up, but now that the thing is, they put words behind it. You know, that's my only problem. You put my favorite game of all time.
Yeah,
right
now you
it.
put expectations of that might not be. So, God damn it! I just lost my train of thought. Oh, the Nintendo Directs were. There was the rumors of the September Direct has been every week so far in September. Now we're on the 20th.
Yeah,
I think this is the last full week.
It's like, is it? I mean, I get that there was evidence because it's like how many years in a row there's been a September one?
It's been
I think wasn't it like 5 or something?
Yeah,
like,
so I get that, but it's like, people they're back on the trying to predict when things are going to happen thing because it's been a while since they've waited a few months since E3.
That gravy train.
I did see people talking about PlayStation was going to have a state of play like the week before, but technically wasn't a state of play. But
so they were wrong.
What honestly though, the question I want to ask: what do you think would be the need for Nintendo to do a Direct right now? I think people are talking about, Monolith game's going to get shown. Like they're full. The rest of this year they have a lineup. I don't see a need.
They don't have to.
You know, I want. Give me another fucking amazing January Direct. That just blows my.
Yeah, I'd say wait till to show.
Would you want that in September?
No,
I don't.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think there's any reason for a Direct
for the rest of the year from Nintendo.
They have their all cards on the table. I mean,
yeah.
They just do a Pokemon Direct in like November, maybe early December.
That's true.
Right.
November.
To show they already showed Arceus Quest.
Yeah, they already did Pokemon Presents.
What's coming in December?
Just that a remake of
Shin Megami Tensei, Advance Wars, and
Big Brain Academy in.
Yeah, Big Brain Academy.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got
Brain versus Brain, boys.
And then November is Pokemon. And January.
Yeah, I mean, and they got Metroid Dread. They showed another trailer, or they had Metroid Dread. They showed a not really a trailer. It was an overview for basically any people who didn't know. Now,
yeah,
with Retro here, I was dancing around the stuff, but I kind of want to get back into the whole spoilers stuff because for me, and if Retro is watching this, you know, you might. I'm not going to get into anything they revealed, but I do want to say, like, them saying, hey, you have this weapon that can shoot multiple targets. Like, I don't know, man. I don't see learning there's an ability that's not that uncommon for a Metroid game. You can target multiple things in other Metroid games, you know.
Yeah, like, that's not a spoiler to me.
I think, like Robert Rule 2 said, like, knowing that you're going to upgrade, knowing what some of the upgrades are, like, when Samus Returns was shown, they showed that counterattack like the whole time, like every time you saw the game. Was that a spoiler that I'm going to gain an ability to counter? Like, so I think some of that was taken to pretty extreme levels. I can get some, like the boss they showed, like it's probably the first boss, second boss, but still, I don't think they needed to show that, even though they've highlighted it again in the overview trailer. But at the same time, like I said, if somebody is a Metroid fan, they don't need to be sold on it. There's no reason to watch the trailer.
Yeah, I mean,
it's more for
if you're
people.
If you're playing the pre-order game already,
you're gonna buy this shit anyway, Metroid fan. Just
I can dash. I can dash in the air now. Like, oh no, I wanted to experience that in the game. Like, I don't know. I don't understand that.
The way I look at it is, at least it seems like they're
weird.
Evolving Metroid anyway. They're, like, the biggest concern a lot of people had originally before any of these trailers started coming out was we've had so many games like Metroid since Metroid, so people are concerned like, is new Metroid going to
be relevant?
Yeah, is it going to be as good as its contemporary?
So yeah, they really have to prove themselves with this.
So when you see things like a dash and a multi-hit like missile system, that kind of shit is just like, okay, you're modernizing. All right, bet we're good.
It's let us know that they're just not gonna put out a safe fucking Metroid.
You get the missile, you get the super missile, super bomb, and morph ball. You know, like, hey, we're going further this time, and it's one of those things that it hyped me up even more, and a lot of people are excited for it based on that, and it seems to be working. And I'm almost gonna up my sales predictions to like 4 to 5 million now.
Yeah, I heard they
Hey man, I think 5 mil. Definitely.
Someone took a picture online earlier today of them doing like full billboard promotions for Metroid Dread. And I was like, okay, all right. I didn't think you'd do that for it.
Isn't it?
I haven't seen that shit since like Prime.
What is the release date? It's getting close, isn't it? Like,
October 8th.
8th, yeah.
Damn.
For some reason I was thinking it was closer to November, but
you technically got about 3 weeks.
That's cool. Yeah, I'm really excited to play it after everything I've seen.
I always say that for me though, with the Soul spoilers, I always say that what really matters to me is I definitely don't care to see where I'm playing, like locations and stuff. I like to see environments for the first time playing that personally for me.
Yeah.
Like I don't really care about like, oh, what weapons you're gonna use, because you're gonna bring back weapons and stuff like that. But it's like when it comes to like maybe bosses, or when it comes to actual like locations, like it's cool seeing locations for the first time. Period.
Right.
Yeah,
to me.
I'm sure there's gonna be some they didn't show you every location. There's no way.
Yeah, hopefully not, right?
Yeah.
Please don't let it be true.
Other than that, I mean, it's been a couple weeks and can't think of any other big games that came out. Or
the only thing I can think
Deathloop. Deathloop. That was another thing I was gonna talk about. It seems like it's pretty mixed, even though the reviews were really, really strong. It seems like people playing the game are.
The user reviews?
Not really user reviews, just people on Twitter that I know that are like, yeah, I don't know if I think
that's considered. Well, my question is, what's the issue that they're having, or is anything specific?
Just not. I guess I've heard that it's they're like very hand-holding in the beginning, which I think it needs to, because I still not sure.
I still don't know how the game plays, to be honest. Yeah. I'll be honest. I've seen all those trailers. I legitimately have no clue what the hell the game is. I'll be honest.
Really?
But then I saw a review like there's like they said millions. There's probably not really millions of variations that if you really pay attention and really go out of your way, like there's a lot of depth. There's a lot of cool little not Easter eggs, but someone's like, oh, the level designs is shit everywhere. Well, then somebody went and followed somebody else and listened to some stories or read something, and like it said why everything was all messed up, and it really I think it was because people are aware that it's repeating, and they're like, why should I clean up? It's just gonna I just have to relive the same day over. Somebody found a little tidbit like that.
That's cool.
So
ironically enough, I figured I'd go ahead and look at the Metacritic just to see. Yeah, even on the Metacritic, it's super mixed.
Well, the PC version specifically apparently is like stuttery and stuff, and so people are gonna be very pissed about that.
What was the actual Metacritic though? I heard it was pretty high.
It was 88.
Right now, yeah, it's 88, and then the user score is 6.1. So
they got it up to 6.1.
Yeah.
Not a lot of games have hit that. 90,
That's a pretty big. I mean, even with review bombing, you still don't like. The Last of Us Part 2 ain't at a 6.
Really look. Most of it is complaining about the bugs and glitches.
Well, I will say another game
came
out that's only 4 points under that people I'm sure I can't wait to play sometime next year is Lost Judgment. Hell yeah, that shit is gonna be fucking awesome. Lost Judgment, that's the Yakuza spinoff.
Oh yeah. And then didn't that Fist game come out? That Metroid style game?
Yeah, I heard it's really good.
I seen one person posting about it on Twitter.
Well, again, I mostly I saw a review, but I think that was 80s. Let's see. I forgot. It's like an acronym, right? FI. dot.
Yeah, I was wondering why it was called that. I guess I never looked into it, but
Is it gonna pop up, man? What's the word that at?
The only other thing
Does it exist?
The only other news thing I could mention is the Bluetooth.
Oh yeah, the update, the Switch update.
Oh yeah,
the Bluetooth update and the ability to now update the dock, which obviously I think
to tell it to not constantly be connected if you have a wired connection.
Well, also that and just having an auto update for the dock in general. Like
the dock's gonna update. What are they gonna update?
A lot of people think it's the OLED version is why they're putting that in.
The only thing they could update is allow for if it has the proper circuitry on the board, they could upgrade the HDMI to like 2.0 to allow for HDR and stuff. But I would doubt Nintendo future-proof that little circuit board in there to be able to do that.
I tried the Bluetooth. I went ahead and tried it. I think that night, and it works fine.
Kevin Kenson said the Bluetooth audio was good, but not as good as a dongle.
Kevin Kenson, you watching Milquetoast YouTube?
They said if you bought a headset that had a USB dongle, the audio quality was significantly better, which is true on everything, which is true on anything.
All right, now there's two issues I noticed. One, it has that stipulation that you can't use more than like 2 Bluetooth.
Just 2 Joy-Cons, or I don't know if you can do 2 Pro controllers.
Two Joy-Cons
separate
can potentially fuck it up. I've seen a couple videos showing that.
Yeah, it was never meant for that. I mean, they really must have had to engineer to get this to even work at all.
But like, if you're playing with a Pro controller, it works perfectly fine. Unfortunately, I think certain games were not set up properly for it. Give an example. Pokemon doesn't work with it at all. The reason why is simple. Pokemon only has 2 modes. It either has local area connection, always on, or you have to turn on online. And the problem is it doesn't work with local area connection.
Oh yeah, that's right, because it's using a Wi-Fi.
So if I connect it with Bluetooth in the home menu, then I jump to the game, it just cuts out. But and the problem is I can't connect online quick enough, because if you back out of it while you're online, it kicks you off online. And I'm just like, oh, I guess I can't do Pokemon specifically. I can't do. Everything else worked fine though. I tried it with No More Heroes, so if I want to use my Bluetooth speakers or my earphones, that works.
That tells you. I mean, is it really at this point that necessary? I mean, people got along this far without it. The fact that
it wasn't a big deal, but
especially with so many headsets out now, where you just plug in a little USB dongle and it works. Like
it's not a big deal, but I guess
it's something. But I would have rather had themes and folders, to be honest, than Bluetooth.
Supposedly, people were digging in the Switch files and noticed that there was stuff in there for another controller.
Man.
Oh, like an N64 controller, right?
Yeah, that's what it was.
All shenanigans on all of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I'm not gonna worry about it until
well, because they're talking about maybe
it happens.
It's rumored that an N64 for the online will be added.
To me, N64 isn't enough to get you excited. To me, you gotta put GameCube is for me.
Well, that's just them.
Are they really gonna put out N64 controllers? I don't.
Do you think they wouldn't? Do you think they wouldn't?
I think they would for a N64 Mini.
Would you want
maybe?
One of those?
And that's still a maybe.
N64 Mini, I would buy it.
Yeah, but an N64 controller isn't good.
Yeah, but my man.
It wouldn't be good for general use, I don't think.
Exactly.
Well, depends on if they had like a home button or something.
I'll give an example. Like at least this shit is like immortalized. Like you can't really.
Every controller is basically an extension of that controller. So.
Yeah, but like an N64 controller, I mean, I don't see the point realistically. Unless you're just doing
it. You don't understand, man. You weren't there.
Like, I was there.
You were there. You should understand a little bit, but something about the late 20s, early 30s dudes and the N64. There's a lot of foul talk.
Listen, my issue isn't with the console. My issue isn't with the console. I want to get it twisted.
It's a controller. I know. There's a lot of foul talk.
It had a very ergonomic controller. I love the analog stick and trigger placement. I just wasn't a huge fan. Like going back, like
Going back.
Yeah, I loved it back then, but
right.
like the C buttons, I mean, it worked. You could use the C buttons as other buttons.
It worked.
You know what I'm saying? But I would, you know what I'm saying? Like the C buttons to me are like
the best way to play a console game on a first-person shooter game on a console. You can't touch it because it's like the C buttons were basically arrow keys on a fucking keyboard. Like it was.
I'm talking about for other games though. For it,
well, I know
it wasn't perfect for every type of game.
Just saying,
that's the thing. The thing is, like, what games are actually gonna for them to bring out an N64 controller? Like, what games actually need it? You know, like what games on N64 would you bring over that you actually need? For me, it would only be FPS games. Now, another thing is that I just have, like, because I actually put another joystick on my N64 controller, and I don't like it at all. Like, it's a more modern. It just doesn't feel right. So the purists are gonna have a problem with it. Everybody else may not have a problem with it. But
my point is that there were certain controller designs that no matter when you play it, are kind of just immortalized, right? Like the original, I would say the 360 controller design is kind of immortalized because fuck, Nintendo copied it. Fucking, they still use it to this day. and then you got things like the fucking GameCube that's fucking immortalized. They've re-released this fucking controller like what 3 fucking times.
Yeah, but only Nintendo has followed that controller up.
Yeah, but people
and they haven't they have to keep re-releasing it because they won't put analog triggers on any other new controller, so they just keep releasing the GameCube.
I can't believe they still don't play analog controllers.
I don't think they have any interest in it.
They better next generation. They better, or I'm not buying their next console. I think.
I don't believe you, bitch ass.
I will say just playing Returnal and having it's the main PS5 game I've played that actually utilizes the little extra click. Like just like the GameCube controller, how you press it and then you click it. It was satisfactory back then, or satisfying, and it's satisfying
I didn't even
today.
think about that. That's true. Duh. Like the GameCube legitimately had that. Yeah.
It's not it's not a bad controller, but it's dated. That's like the biggest problem.
Damn. So no one.
I see people. Oh man, I don't know how to hold it. Fuck off.
I mean, I just.
I won't like this.
It worked well with like.
I will never get that disrespectful about it.
It worked well with like racing games because you had gas and steering.
3D game.
I haven't played a full game with it, so I'll let you know, when I get to that.
I mean, look, I'm not gonna slander that hard. I'm just saying, like, if you told me if I could play N64 games with a newer or just a better controller, I'm probably gonna do that.
Yeah, the Retro Fighters controller that they made for the N64. Yeah. Like, go with that. If you got like if you wanna play like with a modern controller on the N64, buy the fucking Retro Fighters one. I wouldn't tell anybody to play it this way, but this is how I played, so I'm used to this shit. Like the stick on this feels perfect for me, right? Yeah, but if you're like Robert, I wouldn't recommend you play with this. I'd recommend you get a Retro Fighter.
I'll probably still, when I get to some N64 game, I'll probably still play with
the only issue I've ever had with it was when my thumb got a little sweaty. The hard plastic thumbstick out would slip, especially when it got smooth.
That should have ripped your damn fingerprints off.
Yeah.
You play long enough, that shit will fuck you
up.
I
mean, I played so much GoldenEye.
The chalks in the so that's a problem.
I fucking burned my hand on Mario Party.
But
if your analog stick hold up, I mean, it's great. But then, you go to it failed. People who misused it, kids and stuff, were pretty hard on it.
Yeah. I mean, this is my day one.
I have my day one, and it had less of the chalk inside than the one I bought a year later. The black one I bought was filled with it.
1996.
Yeah, it still snaps. Look at that. You think that rubber band or whatever would be?
Yeah, it has a rubber band in the fucking thing.
There's no way. I don't know how it still functions that snappy, but
holy crap.
I'm lucky. I mean, I used the shit out of it. But I also bought new systems, so I got new controllers that I was also using. So
that's what I did. I spread mine across 3 controllers. I had a yellow, black, and the launch one.
But if I was, it usually is mine's in the closet, I think. But I think mine's is pretty good. I personally haven't used it like that, but the previous owner, I guess, hasn't used it too much, which is good.
Let's see. And you notice how the DualSense seems to already gone the way of the HD Rumble? No. The games I've played have utilized it well, but I haven't played a ton.
Admittedly, every PS5 game that I've had has used.
Immortals didn't use it as much as it should have, but like.
Yeah, but it still used it.
HD Rumble is dead, bro.
Returnal uses it so well, I can't imagine like any PS5 exclusive not utilizing it on some level.
I guess it depends on what do they mean by? Do they just mean the Rumble feature? Which, to be fair, that's not true.
Probably just means that it's. Maybe if Deathloop doesn't use it, that's a third party. So I guess.
No, I think Deathloop does. I could have sworn it does, but pretty sure.
If Sony stops using it though, then I'll say.
But it's a exclusive.
I'm pretty sure it does. I mean, legitimately, every single PS5 game that I've played has used it in some way. Has used something. Something has.
Yeah, the Immortals uses a little bit of a rumble.
Oh, I guess not Yakuza. I don't think Yakuza used it.
I don't remember the Doom Eternal PS5 patch really utilizing it, but
no,
that was a patch after the fact. If a game comes out now, like especially if Sony stops using it, then I'll be really bummed because it is. To me, it would be the reason to buy the PS5 version over the Series X version, unless there were some major glitches or technical issues. That's enough to break the tie for me. Like, and I really hope Xbox follows suit and does something similar because it is really cool.
Did Resident Evil use it? I think it did.
Yeah, yep. Because the shotgun to pull up the shotgun, you had to squeeze it really hard.
That's right. Yeah.
Let's see. I heard it was lackluster in Deathloop. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. Just like not hardly anybody uses gyro. Like the Switch and the PS5 and PS4 really all have gyro. It should be standard. Xbox is the only one who doesn't use it. Like,
yeah, and that's just dumb.
Like, I mean, Last of Us Part 2 added it. It's not perfect because it works. If you have your controller like this, it works like a steering wheel. So when you're aiming up, you want to tilt like this, and it don't work. You have to use it like a steering wheel. So it works no matter how it's facing. You have to spin the controller like this. Whereas on Switch, I feel like you go like this, the gyro will switch to this, and when you're like this, then it works like that. It doesn't transition. So I'm aiming, and I want to aim to the left, and I have to go like this, and my brain doesn't accept it. So it was disappointing. They tried. They just didn't. They didn't nail it. They definitely didn't nail it because it does help though if you use it for very fine tune and you're holding the controller. But anyway, I'm gonna be a little distracted. My football team's on Monday Night Football right now. I've been watching.
Oh, you watch them lose?
They're gonna lose for sure. It's already 7-7.
Green Bay had a lot of brew. They embarrassed them.
It's 7-7 though. I mean, it's.
Oh, is it 7-7? Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
It's a different team. But defense still sucks. But other than that, I don't know, man. It's been for me. I just letting everybody else know. Like I've been doing a lot of home improvement stuff the last 7 weekends. I'm completely spent though. I gotta take a week off.
Good work. I see.
My hands hurt. My ankle hurts. My back hurts.
Yeah,
I don't know what I did to my ankle, but I almost left work early today. I was like, man, it was hurting. It's right above. But anyway, I've been a little bit out of it. I have picked up a few. Not picked up, but I've played a little bit here and there. Barely touched Rocket League. Played a little bit for the podcast.
Oh shit! Something must be wrong.
And it just right back. I mean, 2 weeks. It just instantly came right back. The fuck is that? Pacific Liberator?
What is that? Yeah, why?
Let me read you the synopsis on the back of this shit. This shit is like 80s B movie hilarious.
I
gotta read it in the voice too. I gotta use voice.
Please don't do this.
El Presidente built his palace on a man-made island in the Pacific and is terrorizing the poor citizens of the surrounding islands. Your mission is to strategically free each island until you take on El Presidente himself.
El Presidente. Is that the? Is he? What? It looked like a card racing game or something.
Liberator.
Well, I just looked up gameplay. It
That's
definitely looks
shovelware.
like something.
Robert was shook. Robert was like, "Well, it's
People talking
something."
about shovelware on the Wii. They
No,
talking about this shit right here.
Why do you
Some
have that?
low budget stuff, but it's definitely pretty low
Trash.
budget. You can see, but
It's running at like 360p and some shit. Again, they couldn't get it to 480i. There was too many polygons on the screen.
Too much struggle.
You can't get we can't do 480i, man. That's crazy.
The Wii was, the Wii was a 480p beast though, when it was utilized.
Oh yeah, it was great.
yeah.
I mean, it wouldn't have. I don't think it would have. I don't think there's a game on the system though that could have ran at 720p.
No, I mean, I don't know. I feel like they would have been.
I've seen that.
I think Pacific Liberator could just look at the gameplay.
You can't just be pulling TVs from under the ground. Like, what the fuck are we
Baby,
doing?
man, look at those ports.
Why do you just have
Look at
this?
those two component, or not component. Component. You got dual
Also,
components. You got S video, and HDMI, huh?
HDMI
And DVI or VGA. Sorry, might be DVI,
Yeah.
but it's probably VGA.
VGA. This is a
You got
very
optical.
early-
Is that got an optical out?
It is beautiful for playing retro games on, and you don't have to have this big bulky thing behind me, the CRT. And it looks beautiful on this thing.
Is it an
They look
LCD?
Yep, and I picked it up from the Goodwill.
Nice.
You get lucky. You walk in sometimes, man. You find some gems in there.
Yeah.
Picked it up, and it was like $30. And I'm like, I was watching Star Wars on VHS on that bitch, and I was feeling all nostalgic.
I wish I had the
Pretty cool.
original Star Wars before the special editions.
I know.
So yeah, I think with that, we'll get out of here. Yeah, Retro Death will be back next week. He's on some vacation somewhere. I must have missed where he said he was going to be.
Hell, what?
But
Nigga, really tired of my shit. Pulling TVs up and shit.
he's going to be
Yeah.
moving.
Weird ass magician, like fucking. Oh, guess that's what I found. It's a new fucking 50-inch television.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
You brought up.
Like, what the fuck is this? Almost when you do the Zelda music. I'm like, yeah, if you don't get the fuck out of here, dog. It's so fucking
man.
It's too much. It's too much. G.
But anyway, we're
Like,
gonna
come here.
we're gonna get out of here. Appreciate everybody for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
Peace. Doing fucking TVs and shit.